Aperture Lab soundtrack peppered in for fun. Kinda, yeah. Mason, did you see the outlandish scene before that, or did you like get here immediately and then comment? There was like a very audacious like scene introducing a new character right before you showed up. I'm sure he'll come back though. He never comes back.
I'm glad you've come, though I'm afraid there's little in the way of good news. After you left, we reached out to both the Alchemist Guild and Stillglade Fane and attempted all manner of treatments.
Okay.
But the results were always the same. Whatever the answer is, it's not alchemy or conjury.
Navi.
It have to be Y'shtola and Urianger and not me. Out of all of us, they are the ones who could feasibly have solved this puzzle. And Alphino's still missing. God, it's all going wrong. Where do we even start?
This is totally tangential, but Mason, I've been seeing like a lot of like right-wing talk in the past like 24 hours about like, you know, the verdict cut came in and they're like, this guarantees like Trump wins, right? That's totally cope, right? Because the only people that would be galvanized by this were people that were voting for him anyway.
A grave situation indeed.
Like, I'm trying to figure out the logic there, and I don't think there is any. Hi, Navi. Yeah, Alphino's missing. He crash-landed in the desert. Alphino is missing, and half of the important cast
I don't think you well enough to travel.
Is like comatose because they had their soul sucked out by a weird voice. Also, it's Navi. It's Navi. She's on my monitor right now. But not so fucked that a felony isn't bad to most people. A large number of undecided said they would probably not vote for him based on the outcome of the case. Yeah, I know, like that. I feel like that this has to be insane cope, because he just loses an enormous portion of like fence sitters that were just waiting for a reason to not vote for him.
When word reached me of the plight of our friends, I could not well stay away. As a fellow scion, not to mention your erstwhile mentor, this is one of those times you should feel free to call on me, regardless of my personal circumstances.
Yes, I should have thought of that.
We did say we'd tell her when anything changed, but then the person who was supposed to tell her got his soul sucked, so... Navi, you best not touch those rats. You stay away from them rats.
Thank you for coming, Kryl. We would welcome your insight.
She's doing the thing where she like gravity checks because she's upset I'm not playing with her.
And I should be happy to provide it. Now, what's this I hear about Alphino heading into Imperial territory? That boy always did have some funny ideas.
That boy.
Do you remember the speech he gave when he was accepted to the studium?
That Alphino boy ain't right, I'll tell you. Whoa! Alphino!
My life's goal is naught less than the salvation of this star.
He might be dead and you're making fun of him? They're coping with humor. It's because they're confident he's alive.
Oh, that particular grand pronouncement has been a source of great embarrassment to him, as you know. But the fact of the matter is, he meant every word and has lived his life accordingly.
Yes, he remains altruistic to a fault, but I'm worried he was too fixated on his goals to see the dangers, as has happened before.
You needn't be so concerned. Though his values remain the same, Alphino is not the blinkered boy he once was.
Blinkered boy.
Slowly but surely his eyes have been opened, thanks to a certain someone.
What are you implying?
A certain someone whom he'd be mortified to learn had heard about his little speech. Mum's the word, eh?
Mum's the word.
Right, I'd better have a look at our patients. They're in the infirmary, I assume. I'll need absolute quiet, so it would be best if I did this alone. If you'll excuse me. All three are in fine physical health. At a glance, I would say they were merely sound asleep. Except for the fact that I couldn't sense the slightest trace of them in their bodies. It's as if their souls have taken leave of their physical forms.
Yep.
Yes. The Elder Seedseer made a similar observation.
Can we have an elected official called the Elder Seedseer? It'd be more fun if we did.
When you heard this mysterious voice, you described feeling as if you were somewhere else, yes?
Can we just, like, rename the president? The position? And the vice president can be Seedseer
If we
Jr.
assume the ether which comprises your essence is being drawn to some other place, then it may be possible to follow the trail it leaves behind, just as we did in our search for Thancred.
I wasn't around for that, but I can't imagine it was easy.
Oh, it wasn't, but that's no reason not to try. I will have need of Master Matoya's crystal eye if I'm even to make the attempt. So I suggest we pay her a visit.
Love Matoya. Let's go visit Matoya. Any excuse to visit Matoya. Matoya moment. Closest crystal to Matoya is, I believe, this. Beetleshire. I'm now motivated to play the game more because I want to see more cutscenes with that character. Solus the Gallant? What was his name? Sassy Van Bitch. We'll call him Sassy Van Bitch until I get a real name. Solus Von Galvis. I'm gonna still say Sassy Von Bitch. I like it. And it's funny. Is this the part of the game... This part of the game takes place in Scotland then. Yeah, we visit Scotland, we visit Japan, we visit Australia. It's basically like a fictionalized version of all the countries I want to visit in real life. Like, those are like my top 3 right there, and they're in the game. Still need to do this Alexander stuff over here. Hi, Navi. You're so sad and desperate and you want to play. But you always want to play, and I can't play with you all the time. Sometimes I have to play with the fake people in the virtual world. Instead of my real beautiful creature cat that is in front of me, begging for attention. I'm gonna hold forward while I pet her. I love you. I love you, Navi. Oh. He brings a tear to my eye, she does. Solus Von Galvis. Has anyone ever told you that Navi looks like a storybook cat? What does that mean? Like she should be in a fairy tale book for children? Don't say that, you're gonna make her ego get even bigger. He's already got such a big ego. I heard Master Matoya was something of a recluse. It seems extreme. I'd be happy to overlook her eccentricities if she agrees to help us. Oh yeah, Alice never really met her, did she? There's a lot of, oh yeah, this character hasn't been here or met this person. Yeah. You're a perfect little kitty.
Disturb my peace again, have you?
You're perfect.
I hide myself away in a cave, and still you people insist on pestering me with your problems.
Didn't we take her orb before? Did we give the orb back at some point? I thought we took the orb. We already gave it. Like, we come back and ask for it, but we forgot that we never returned it.
I mistook you for young what's-his-name, but I see now you're the sister. Weren't you supposed to be the lively one? I've seen happier faces at a rain-sodden burial.
Sorry, ma'am, it's the trauma.
Well, I'm sorry to dash your expectations, but the situation isn't exactly conducive to gaiety.
She likes to spite.
That's more like it.
There we go.
Stoller used to spit and hiss like a wildcat too. Better for a young thing like you to be filled with fire and leave the doom and gloom to your elders.
I've never hit fire.
Now, what exactly does this tragic situation of yours have to do with me?
Everyone's dying and you have to stop it.
If I may, Master Matoya, we have need of your crystal eye once more.
Well.
And Stoller is one of the afflicted, is she? Very well. She may be an ungrateful stray, but she's my ungrateful stray, and I'll not see her buried before I am.
I like that. Mason, did you play Stray? Well, I feel like I already asked you that at some point. It was very good. Hi, Navi. You're not supposed to go back there.
Right. Let us see what we can see. I'll begin from where our friends first fell.
You put herself
Cast
into a
my senses
position where
out
she
from
can't
there.
back up. I think I have to save her. I saved her and then I gave her some vigorous petting. Vigorous petting. That's a title. Yeah, I'm using the same gimmick I did when it was like going from Heavensward to Stormblood. I'm just gonna do that every time. How's it going, Faye? You're very gassy this morning. Kristen just sent me
What is it? Did you find them?
Kristen just sent me a photo of an email. A student emailed all of her teachers, including Kristen, and said, "Can you please like hold off on telling my mom about my bad grades and how I'm not doing anything? Because if she gets a bad report this week, I can't get my tattoo. So can you just do me a favor?" You sent me a new sound redemption. Let's check it out. Taking me to x.com. Yes, that will be added to the soundboard in the redemptions.
But this doesn't make sense. But how is it even possible?
How is what possible? Kryl, what did you see?
The threads, they just ended. And no, I didn't lose track of them. I followed them as far as they went. It's as if they were cut off.
Like they're threads of fate?
If it had. Oh, gods! Their bodies are just husks. It's like the broodmother's daughter all over again.
Don't panic, Alice. They're not gonna kill off that many main characters at once.
This is different. The Kalyana girl was already dead, body and soul, when Lakshmi effected her resurrection.
Aye, let's not jump to conclusions. If their physical forms yet breathe and show no signs of wasting, then it follows that their souls must still be intact somewhere.
Navi, I love you so much, but you have to calm down. You have been fed, you have been played with, you've taken your morning shit, you've taken your morning piss, you've had a treat. I played with you again, I've given you more pets after that.
Isn't it, girl?
It is time for your cat nap.
Them to the ethereal sea, yet there are no tracks left for us to follow.
We're no closer to an answer than when we started. But knowing their souls are still out there is progress of a sort. We just have to keep looking.
Faye, I don't know what the last thing you saw was, but during this session, I helped form the Eastern Alliance. I beat some dragons up. We had a meeting of all the important people in one room. We're in a meeting, and then there was a voice, and then Thancred got soul sucked, and then we were like, we have to tell Urianger about this, and we told Urianger about this, and his soul got sucked, and then everyone started freaking out, and then it was like, meanwhile at the capital, and we met like a sassy bitch or something, and the Emperor shot him. It was really funny.
Pray, excuse me a moment. Yes? I remember, but... What, to Alamigo? We're on our way. That was Lise. Apparently, a group of populares have defected to Alamigo, and Maxima, the envoy Alphino left with, is one of them. I'm sorry. I realize we've barely begun here, but...
Go, child!
Go, child!
Made up your mind, and life's too short for dithering.
Go, child!
I'll do some digging in the meantime and see if there isn't some other method we could use to continue the search.
Navi is like intently staring at the rats.
Let's be off then.
Oh, not again. The enchantment barely seems to take this.
Is magic dying?
I chalk it up to old age, but I rather doubt it's that simple.
Is this the death of magic? Like with this shit with the Mickey Mouse, like Fantasia broom.
Took ill.
Yeah, and the aether thinning.
Notes on a thinning of the ether. It seems to be happening all over.
Does it now? And here
Navi, you gotta get away from that rat right now.
And blame my woes on that creaking mountain of refuse clogging up the Thaliac.
Sorry, guys. I think when Navi's like mad at me because I'm not giving her the attention she wants, she goes over and like threateningly stares at the rats.
I fear something has gone awry.
The death of magic, he's only
Still,
64.
There's naught to be gained from starting in shadows. You can only do
Talking about Magic Johnson?
and that but one thing at a time.
Quickly googling Magic Johnson to see if he's 64 years old. He is! Yeah, cool. Did you just out of pocket know Magic Johnson's age, or did you have to Google it too? So that was the woman who tamed Y'shtola. The distinct feeling of being grabbed by the scruff of the neck and having the nonsense shaken out of me. When Alphino is back, I'd like to visit again and ask her what she has of grandfather. That's why the joke was a little delayed. Yeah. Good luck with stand-up. Tell them about all your tasks you've completed or are delayed on, and why it's their fault. I almost can't bear to hear what Maxima has to tell us. It can't be bad news, can it? Lise would have said, unless... there's no point speculating. Lise said she'd notify the guards of our coming, so we should head straight to the palace gate in the Alamegan Quarter. I'll be praying for good news. Learn what you can about Alphino's plight, and I'll leave the search for our friends' lost souls to me. Yeah, okay, actually, why do they stand up? Not even like joke. Why do they stand up? Why are you like not up there on a stool or a chair or just like relaxing? Is there something about standing and moving around that adds to your stage presence? Like, does it keep up like some energy level or something that like is necessary for the comedy to take effect? It's not required, but they all do it. But they all do it, though. You know who sit-down comedians are? Rakugo artists. Rakugo artists sit down. The man is funnier when he paces. Yeah, I mean, if you just listen to what Jerry Seinfeld said, and stop paying attention to, like, the way he's moving around and putting his hands in his pocket, then taking them out, then he wouldn't be funny. If it was just words alone, you wouldn't be laughing. You have to look at the weird things he's doing. Resistance guard. Wait, where?
I'm sorry to drag you halfway across the realm, but when Maxima mentioned Alphino, I thought you'd want to hear the news in person.
Full body comedy. Full body comedy. I actually don't remember how Alphino got separated from these guys. I remember, like, Mr. Shadowhunter showed up, but did they just, like, part ways, or did something separate them? I don't remember.
Ah, we meet again. Though I was hoping our reunion would be under more auspicious circumstances.
What happened to my brother? Where is Alphino?
Never fear, my lady. Your brother was in fine health when I took my leave of him, and I have no reason to assume that has changed.
You assume?
If you will allow me, I shall endeavor to explain events.
I like this guy more than I
Troubles
should.
began not long after we departed Doma. While crossing the burn, we were fired upon by the Emperor's personal guard and forced to make an emergency landing. As we stumbled from the wreckage, our attackers fell upon us again, and we would have perished there and then were it not for the intercession of a third party, a band of mercenaries whose leader claimed to pursue a vendetta against the Ascians.
In this battle, you will fight as Alphino.
This shadow hunter, as he styled himself, then escorted us out of the wastes to relative safety. Upon arriving back in civilization, I gathered my Populares colleagues and prepared to flee the Empire. Master Alphino, however, declined the invitation to join us, preferring to continue his investigation into the Ascian threat.
Does the Shadow Hunter hunt the Shadow Bringer, as the Shadow Bringer is not necessarily a shadow himself, or does the Shadow Hunter only fight the shadows of the Shadow Bringer?
Well,
We're asking the big
at least he's not
questions.
lying in a heap in the burn. Tell us more about these Ascian hunters. Who are they? And is Alphino still with them?
He is. As to who they are, I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. Beyond the fact that they root out and destroy Ascians, they were unwilling to divulge anything which might serve to identify them. They would not even reveal their next destination. But Master Alphino asked to accompany them all the same.
Yeah, Jonah can vouch for me. Like, I vibe checked this guy extremely early on after he had like one line of dialogue. Like, totally like no reason to. I was like, this guy's cool. This guy's fine.
Since parting company with your brother, we've been engaged in a game of cat and mouse with the Emperor's Guard. We made our way through province after province, finding the army busy restoring order wherever we went, until we finally arrived here in Alamigo. I cannot thank Commander Aldin enough for giving us such an unexpectedly warm welcome.
He like said one thing that was like disapproving of what Asahi was doing, and I was like, yeah, this guy's cool.
I'm not inclined to turn away refugees, no matter which land they call home.
Also, he's weirdly
If
tall.
they can tell me how things lie in Garlemald, all the better.
He's weirdly tall.
On that subject, there is much I would tell you. During the course of our journey, we heard tales that an entire rebel army had been slaughtered in the space of a single night. It would seem my former comrades grew tired of putting down uprisings in the conventional manner, and chose instead to bring a formidable new weapon to bear. Details were sparse, but the rumor alone was enough to dampen the flames of rebellion.
A tangent, but something I was thinking about. So the Emperor, the current Emperor, there's an Ascian pretending to be his son. There's an Ascian pretending to be his son, and there's an Ascian that is, or is maybe not, but probably is, like, the ghost of his grandfather, and they're, like, basically in control, and there's nothing he can do about it, so he's just, like, pissed, right? Like, the guy feels, like, totally, like, pissed off because he's not actually in control right now. He can't, like, kill them or do anything about it, really. You're a big fan of Lucia, but she's a slept-on character. I'll try to give her more attention. I'll try to focus on her.
I have also heard reports that several companies have withdrawn from their designated provinces and begun marching westward. It is my assessment that the Empire's forces are mobilizing for a large-scale military engagement.
It's hard to...
Westward?
That's fair.
You mean they're getting ready to invade Alamigo?
We knew this was coming, but not that it would be so soon.
Never feel obliged to answer my questions. Like, rhetorical questions are like, the biggest component of my thought process. Like, rhetorical questions and speculation, and you don't have to respond to either.
We've barely even begun
It's simply like
to
a
shore
winky
up our
face.
defenses. They won't stop an invading army.
Okay, hold on. This is... weird. Hold on, I'm getting like a weird email, and I have to check into this right now. I think it's probably nothing. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm like interrupting the game a little bit, but I got an email that says, "Oh, has sent you money." And someone sent me a non-insignificant amount of money, apparently, and it's showing up on my bank statement. The sender name just says O, like the letter O, and the note just says thank you. I have no clue what to make of this. That's extremely bizarre. What the fuck? I want to say it's a scam, but they just sent me money. They didn't withdraw money. And there's no name attached, there's no, like, follow-up steps given or anything. I don't... Huh? What? Who is O? Who? Literally who? It was a direct deposit. Which is a bit of a cause for concern because it means that they have my bank information.
No, they won't.
I've just become an extra in Breaking Bad. What? Okay, I'm gonna continue the stream as normal, but I'm gonna have to call my bank after this.
Dispatch messengers to the Alliance leadership requesting reinforcements, and send word to our officers in the field to hasten completion of those border fortifications. Prepare to meet the Imperials head on! No matter how quickly we act, we still want for time. When the enemy comes into view, our best recourse will be to open negotiations with their commander, and see that the ensuing proceedings take as long as possible.
Oh, I think I figured out what's going on here. I think this is part of a scam. Okay, no. This is fine, as long as I understand what's going on now, but I won't elaborate. But everything's fine.
Would you and Alize head to Doma and let Lord Hien know about this? I'm sure he'll want to hear about Alphino too.
Consider it done. We'll send word when...
Oh, it's happening again.
Untold sorrow must be changed. Ahead looms a calamity.
He's dropping dead this time.
Beyond become instant. Throw wide the gates.
The main character or the other character?
The horror.
You heard it too.
The effect is actually, like, surprisingly disconcerting.
Well, at least we're both still standing.
Oh, thank the gods. I thought we'd lost you for a moment there. Why does this keep happening?
I wish I knew. Nothing we've tried has brought us any closer to an answer.
Throw wide the gates. Andre, like, let me in moment.
We'll keep working on it. But first, we need to go and see Lord Hien.
I've been getting targeted by more and more scams recently. I gotta keep my guard up. What's going on? So Alphino is safe, for the present at least. Now all we need to worry about is a full-scale Imperial invasion. I'm glad Lee's tasked us with visiting Lord Hien. Better to be dashing from place to place than sitting about stewing over things we can't change. The Enclave. I love going to the Enclave because I can hear Final Fantasy VI Science theme. The Andre let me in moment is surprisingly relevant. Is there like an existing meme you'll be able to send me, like, in a week or two? They've been trying to fish the fuck out of my email recently. I'm not clicking on any links. There's a really long quest line attached to the Doman Enclave that makes the area look so much nicer. Is there like a restoration side quest in each expansion, like the Firmament? The Firmament and the Enclave? Is that like a thing? Not each expansion. The Kojin and the Confederacy you already know. It was your own strength of arms that won us the cooperation of the Steppe tribes. We've been joined by our neighbors from Naxia and the indomitable citizens of Dalmasca. I don't think I've met these people, but the scattered nature of the latter's resistance will somewhat delay their official induction. These proud people have united under a single purpose to stand against the tyranny of the Galean Empire. I'm glad to see our alliance is coming together so swiftly. As things stand, I fear we shall soon have need of your strength. Beard meeting. You finished it like a month ago? How long were you working on it? And thank you for bringing me news of Alphino. His fate is never far from my thoughts. Not only because he is our emissary. As for the sudden deployment of Imperial forces, I agree that Alamigo would be wise to shore up its borders with all haste. Every report we receive from our shinobi indicates a massing of troops in the western provinces. It's all but certain that the Empire is poised to bring its fist down upon Eorzea. It took like 6 months. Like, 6 months. That's a lot. What do you... Is it, like, worth it? Do you get, like, really cool stuff out of it? I would deflect that blow, but I cannot risk sending reinforcements just yet. We will remain vulnerable to airborne assault until our wall is in place. The all-important Alagun energy barrier. The energy barrier. Yes. I thought to call it something more auspicious. A name drawn from the 4 Lords of Legend, perhaps. Therius Aegis, or some such. Just a thought. The Ironworks engineers report that they have finished calibrating the generators and are to proceed to the testing stage. Have you had the time to attend the first test? You've seen the field which protected Oz's law firsthand, and I would be interested to hear how you think ours compares. You ever, like, recover from sickness and there's, like, a noticeable moment where it's like, oh, I can think properly again, like thoughts are connecting again. Oh my god. I will come too, if you don't mind. Though I am no Y'shtola, I may be able to offer some insight. Of course, time being of the essence, it would be best if we made directly for the burn. Yugiri, I leave you and Hakuro to bring the War Council to a close. Understood. Your mounts are saddled and ready, my lord. Wear the storms. Ginger salad, please. You get unique merchants, you directly help make an area of the game pretty, you get a decent amount of gil, and you unlock a vendor that you can sell things for 200% its value. Cool. So good money. What do the unique merchants have? Like cool armors and stuff? Powerful weapons? We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon, as before. Join me at the overlook near the House of the Fierce. Oh, Faye, are you busy tonight? A unique housing item. Oh yeah, furniture. Ah, damn. Okay. Yakuba is proposing that some of us, eat dinner at Chili's tonight to celebrate yesterday's news, since we couldn't do that yesterday. I don't know why, but Jakub's become quite Chili's pilled recently. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind. I don't have Chili's very often. I've never had it much in my life, so it's like fine. It's still like, huh, interesting. I guess up. Where's? Ah. Give the word when you're ready to take wing. To the burn? Chili pilled lava cake maxing. Yeah. Yeah, let's run this one into the ground. This is one of my favorites. All the Oz's Law tech, all the ACN tech, it looks like the same like Magitech and Xenoblade. Like the design is almost identical. It looks like the Minato.
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand. Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
You know, let's just move on, never mind. He doesn't know. It makes sense though. I believe a lot of designers from Square Enix helped out Monolith Soft designing the world and characters for Xenoblade. Like, there's just a lot of the same people working on these things, I think.
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming.
This is how the Simpsons movie started.
2,000. 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected.
Oh, never mind, it's not a dome.
4,000. 5,000. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
They've just created like an in-lore explanation for invisible walls that stop you from exploring.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
Fly straight into it.
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wall for us.
Doesn't work at all. Goes right through.
Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
Alphino comes out. Oh, actually, maybe. Yeah, oh wow. Oh no, he got sucked. Oh, he got sucked too.
Gods. It's Alphino. What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
Oh, we can't do that, sir.
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
No, not him too.
That's my
We
boy!
could identify
My
no cause
son!
and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hien himself, it would seem.
I know we don't really talk about Harry Potter much anymore, but I have to remark that, like, as a kid, the scene where, like, in the movie version of Goblet of Fire, when they, like, leave the maze at the end and, like, Cedric Diggory comes out, and, like, his dad is, like, screaming, "That's my boy! That's my son!" It, like, really fucked with me as a kid. Really fucked with me. Like, that guy's performance was over the top in a way that disturbed me.
Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
With the logic of why this stuff is happening, I still think Alphino should have been last. So that means more's gonna fall then. You're saying that Alphino isn't the last and there's gonna be more. Do I recognize this fool? Jonah was trying to get me to guess yesterday too, so like I definitely understand it's within the realm of possibility. And can't lie, he's like ringing a bell, but I can't place it exactly. His weapon is the same. He looks kind of like, I forget his name, from the guy that's like Sid's husband. He kind of looks like the guy that's Sid's husband. He kind of looks like an older like punished version of like the Warrior of Darkness. Yeah. He's reminding me of a couple people, but I can't like place him as anyone specifically. I don't remember who has the like gun sword. I know I've seen it before, but I don't remember. He has some connection to the Scion, so I don't know. Is it? No.
Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given. One I have long since relinquished.
This guy? What? No shit. What?
Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum. I am no more than Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
I never thought we'd see his face.
Impossible! There's no way you could have survived!
Somehow, Gaius van Baelsar survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded?
I think I killed you and then you died.
How I was deceived by La Habrea? How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea?
Yeah, that was like months ago, dude.
The Ascian used me. as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god.
Good.
Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians.
Well, they've retroactively made this character interesting.
The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge.
You know, when I was playing A Realm Reborn, and I saw this guy, this mask part, like, had a different texture than the rest of his, like, helmet. I thought this was, like, his old, wrinkly, decrepit face showing through the helmet. I thought this was, like, weathered skin.
My principal quarry was to be La Hebrea, whom I gather you have since ushered onto oblivion.
Yeah, I killed him. Like I killed you.
But so many more remain. Long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world, I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword.
The cool thing is happening now, where all the storylines are, I can, like, see that they're about to intersect. That's, like, imminently happening.
Are the Scions not of like mind?
What? People hate Laha Thancred? Why do people hate Laha Thancred? I mean, I don't particularly like him, but I didn't, like, hate that either.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired.
It wasn't worse than anything else in A Realm Reborn.
Among the Ascians, the Black-Masked Ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know.
Because he talks a lot? I feel like that's such a, like, non-complaint if you're playing this game.
Yet among the
Everyone
red,
talks a
there
lot.
exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source.
Dude, everyone's gonna read, like, their own version of War and Peace at you at some point.
Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group. And while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the Source.
The paragons of the Source. Ascian hierarchy. He says, in the deepest pit of 7 hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash Ultima.
The first was La Hebrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
Are the Ascians the shadows because they live in the shadows? I've heard that name before.
We have files on La Hebrea and Elidibus, but I believe this Emmet Selk is new to us?
Yeah, I've heard that name, but not in-game.
As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets.
The
It
centrist.
was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
So, okay, La Habre is dead. Elidibus is the one posing as Xeno, so... Emmett's probably, like, the sassy Von bitch that I saw earlier, right?
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly.
Unless it's
enough to
another
sweep
Asian
away
that I
all
haven't
resistance in a matter of
seen yet
hours.
or I'm forgetting.
Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Also, that makes sense. He seems like a husbando type.
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch. Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Ciegalvis.
Random thought, but, sorry, I'm getting ready for the gym, so I didn't hear if that was a legit question. Well, I was just, like, speculating that, like, La Habre is dead, Elidibus is the one posing as Xeno, so, like, Emmett's probably the one that's, like, either posing as or is the granddad. The one that was, like, the sassy bitch in that cutscene. And I'm further, like, solidified in this because that character seems like the type to be, like, a husbando, Tumblr sexy man. Which would make sense as to why you would say that. Also, just like a random thought, normally, it bothers me when, it does bother me typically in stories when they constantly bring characters back that they've established as dead. But I don't have as much of a problem with it here, because they're bringing characters back that, like, were not fully fleshed out to begin with, and they don't seem to have a problem killing main characters regardless without bringing them back. Like, it still feels like there's stakes even if they're bringing people back sometimes.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator?
Oh my god.
But a young Emperor Solus.
Oh, they Rei Ayanami'd him? So that's his dad. This empire is not as old as I thought it was. It's like only 3 generations.
All of which prompts the question, were the Asians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland. It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
So, this guy probably has a different voice actor, just like every other character from the first part of the game, right? Like he was recast along with everyone else.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
I mean, if anyone asks, you're already dead. I didn't see you. Talk to you later. Have a good workout. We'll settle this another time. Yeah, I'll get you. I'll get you. I'll get you. Later, though.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods, even as I, in my blinkered conviction, placed mine in Asian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
Bye-bye.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least.
He murdered millions.
Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
Puts up an impenetrable wall. Immediately lets the former Emperor through. Are the bells not working? Bells should be working. I think the bells just don't start immediately. They like make you wait a little bit. Oh, did I miss the initial bell? The initial B. There we go. Alphino is safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. I've spoken with the physician, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alphino is lost in a sleep from which he cannot be awoken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape that cursed voice. Share your frustration, Alizé. I do, but Alphino's returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Until then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both. You're right, of course. There are arrangements to be made and little time to make them. To business, said my lord. Now that we know Seryu's wall works as intended, we can expect reinforcements for Alamigo? You most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies in Eorzea without delay. Pray be aware, however, they will not arrive without delay. Save for some few loyal who boast teleportation magics, the bulk of our force must be transported by sea. A lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favored by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of the East Aldenar Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating the distances in question, you're in the happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus in Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Aldenard friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, but I'm certain they will afford Alphino a berth afforded aboard one of their vessels. I shall have a surgeon accompany him on every ilm of the way to the Rising Stones. You have my thanks, Lord Heaton. I will stand up. Yugiri, I will go on ahead and with our friends to Alamigo. Enlist all those capable of teleportation and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. We will form the vanguard. Yes, my lord. This is exactly what we hoped for. Did they give you 15 minutes back to your day, or 5 minutes, or 2 minutes back? I'll just give this 5 minutes back to you as a gift. It's exactly what we hoped for. Lease and Alliance leaders would be glad indeed to welcome the combined strength of the East. Meanwhile, at the Black Rose Chemical Plant. They owe you 2 minutes. They're indebted to you.
Our supplies at Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance. See that you do.
Time is our only truly non-renewable resource. And they demand so much of it. This guy...
Ah, yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention.
This is the guy.
A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds.
If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you. Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing. A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect.
Gingerbent Cruella de Vil monologuing. I don't know this for sure, but I have my suspicions that this guy was a Tumblr sexy man at one point. I'm afraid to like look into it though, because I don't want to spoil myself.
Surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
While you do what, precisely?
I love his theme music. I'm just listening for a second. I just like those strings.
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire. You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Get fucked.
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed.
He created the obfuscation machine. The machine designed to sow obfuscation and chaos.
Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way.
It's a very simple theme, but I really like it. It was by design?
Since we may not meet again in this lifetime, it would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude.
Hold on. I'm sending you something on Discord. Your mission is to use this the next time someone explains their code to you and it's bad. Use this in a code review.
really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in Allagan cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research. And of all the options available, you chose the Founding Father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandson, eh?
He has regrets.
If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor and shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
I want a TV show about this guy. Like watching a twink taunt a 6'9" bear who's had a little too much stress recently. Oh, okay. So you missed you missed this guy's initial cutscene. You missed the initial cutscene. There was a similar interaction earlier, and the Emperor just took out a gun and shot him. But, he shot him dead with a gun. But, this is an undying being capable of possessing clones that already exist. So he had huge regrets about trying to clone his grandfather. Because there's hundreds of, like, vessels just out there now, and every time he kills this guy, he comes back. Yeah, what was the operation? There was, like, the operation that was the cloning Palpatine operation. Parlay on the front lines. We must leave now to convene with Eorze's leaders, and it may be some time before I return to Doma. Akuro, I leave you in command. My lord. I shall assemble an advance party with all haste, and join you in Alamigo forthwith. I've just received word from Lise. The Alliance has established a base camp near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we've arrived in the locks, we're to report to a resistance officer stationed in Porta Praetoria who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting. Pre-Disney canon, the project succeeded and they kept having to kill young Palpatine over and over while searching for the cloning facility because he kept force projecting into a new body. Yeah, it's basically the same thing happening. Except, I don't know if it's the same or not, but it's not like a clone in the sense that, you know, he dies and he's replaced. It's, I think it's one continuous stream of consciousness, because this guy is like, he's like an existing shade or ghost, and the bodies are just a convenience to him. Like, I think the implication is he could take over other people's bodies if needed, but, like, the fact that there's, like, just clones of him is extremely convenient. So it's not like when you kill him, it's like he's replaced by a different one, it's like the same guy. So Project Necromancer is canon in Disney canon and pre-Disney canon, but with different results. Like in pre-Disney, it's like basically what's going on here. In post-Disney, it's like they made the one and he's like in Rise of Skywalker. Okay, you know Star Wars. I have a question. Well, I have two questions. One, how pissed off are you and other people about the fact that there's now two separate canons? And two, is there like a divergence, or are they totally separate canons? Like, is there a divergence point? I ask because Project Necromancer existing in both makes me feel like there's a divergence after the initiation of that. Because from what I understand, the reason Disney threw out the existing extended canon was basically so they had creative freedom to do whatever they wanted, right? But now people are very unhappy with what they've done with that. Filoni? Who's Filoni? Who's Filoni? Is that one of the showrunners right now? Is this J.J. Abrams' fault? I don't know if I've ever really asked you your opinions on this. Like, what are your thoughts on the sequel trilogy overall? I'm totally going the wrong way. He's the guy between Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian, Ashoka, Bad Batch. Bad Batch is the Clone Wars sequel, basically, right? It must be the Scion party I was told to look out for. If you'll follow me, I'll take you directly to Alliance headquarters. I'm gonna take a really quick BRB. Keep typing whatever you're typing, and I'll respond to it when I get back.